Hey everyone, welcome to the Guri Show podcast. We have Jaki with us today, and we are going to discuss mindset magic to drive results for you as a professional coach and course creator. We will discover how to set your own confidence switch, which you can use personally and which you can even share with your clients to boost their success further too. So I hope this is going to be an interesting conversation. First of all, welcome, Jaki. I'm going to introduce you to my listeners, and then we'll hop on to learn more about your background story. Okay.
Excellent.
So,
Thank you.
yeah, Jaki is a confidence and best life coach. She's based in New Zealand. She's a mother of two and has over 15 years of experience as a consultant, coach, and trainer, helping people transform their lives. Her practice is largely NLP based. NLP stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. As a mom herself who has successfully mastered the art of running a business, managing a household, and supporting clients and parenting her young children, Jaki specializes in helping women overcome overwhelm and level up their self confidence so they feel like the amazing powerhouses they are. From here, she guides clients to develop a new level of clarity and conviction and map out their unique path to epic results with ease and flow. That sounds like an interesting bio to me. So let's learn from you. Let's learn from you a little bit about your background story, Jackie. Over to you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's fantastic to be here with you and your listeners today. Yeah. So, look, I've been in business for, over 15 years now, anyway. And my background was my business was my baby. And then I had an actual baby. And so before when I thought I was really busy, suddenly I had this baby to deal with too. So I came back to work and it was like, oh my God, there's just so much to deal with. You get thrown into this overwhelm, and maybe your clients have experienced this before, your coaches, clients, and the like. And suddenly you're just juggling all these balls and trying to please all these people. And it's so easy just to lose your sense of self. And so this is what got me interested in this idea of confidence. How do you develop that? And what are all the ramifications of having confidence or not having confidence? And I just think it's so important that we as women connect together, we share our stories, and we lift each other up. Confidence is an inside game. And so when I discovered NLP, it was a way for me to step up and above all of the stuff, the busyness, the rushing, the people pleasing, the imposter syndrome, all of that stuff that so many women have experienced before, and level up to the next level. And so I've been doing that now for a while. And yes, I moved my business online just this year. So that's been really good. Yeah.
Is that post-COVID or did you plan?
Yeah, it was. So I was coaching and I was doing leadership and communication and HR consulting in my practice. And when COVID hit, then as an HR consultant, a lot of businesses just had to go, you know what, we need to streamline. We need to just focus on our staff. And, as an HR person, I couldn't disagree. You got to look after your people, right? And so it was a chance for me to kind of pivot and go, okay, well, what in my business do I love most? And what I love most is empowering people, is seeing them light up. And so I decided to focus on working with women who have been through a similar story to me, where you're juggling everyone, trying to please everyone and forgetting about yourself in the process. And that's just madness. And I thought, you know what, there's a market there. And that's the people I want to work with, the people that get the message that resonates with them.
I love how you put it, that, people, especially women, especially moms, they start their business with a goal in mind, but then they end up juggling between a lot of things. And sometimes, it's difficult to really prioritize things. In your head, you want to spend time on your business, but then you have a family and you have, multiple things to take care of. And so sometimes you just start feeling bad about yourself. You go into that negative energy.
Yeah, absolutely. You're pushed and pulled and kind of prodded and you're all over the place. And it's so easy, like you're stretched so thin. Of course, you can't feel like the successful person you want to, because you can't give your time or focus to any one thing for long enough to do it to the perfection that you would really like to. And so you kind of go through, you just get into that survival and coping mode. And a lot of us with our clients see this all the time. And so confidence and knowing how to tap into that confidence that's still there, because that's the thing is when I work with clients is they don't think that they're confident anymore. And many of them will come to describe themselves as, I'm just not really confident. And they'll even convince themselves that they never were. But here's the really interesting thing. As babies, we were born with only two natural fears and doubts. That is the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling, literally falling. Every other doubt that we have about ourselves, our capability, and anything else has been learned. And anything that has been learned can be unlearned. But we don't learn this in school. We don't even learn it in higher education. And yet this is the single factor. If you can do one thing for anyone, for yourself, for your clients, it's have confidence, because it's the key to success and happiness.
I agree 100%. So let's dive into the topic. And I believe that, people are going to benefit from this conversation a lot, right? So let's dive in. And my first question to you is, why do you think it's difficult for women, especially, to feel confident, especially when they are starting their business or during the journey or, when they're up leveling?
So there are so many reasons. And the first one is other people's shoulds. So we spend so much time, we are nurturers, we're here to look after people, like it's naturally ingrained in us, and it's also taught as part of every society I'm aware of, right? For parents to be, for mothers to be maternal and look after. So we look after other people. It's a hat that we're so comfortable wearing, it feels like part of who we are. And so what that does is it means that you're too busy looking after everyone else to spend time on you. And even it goes even further than that. It's like if you want to be, really good at one thing, you give your all to that. And I'm here to call, excuse the word, but I'm here to call bullshit. You can have it all. You don't just have to be the perfect mum. You don't just have to be the perfect coach. You can have it all. You don't have to be the perfect business person or the perfect anything. You just need to be you. And when we lose our sense of who we actually are, we're not being ourselves. So, of course, how can we be confident? Because we literally don't know who we're being. We're playing so many roles, we forget who we are. And then all other people's shoulds and society's expectations and so-called reality, they just put more and more pressure on us. And all of this kind of weight, think of it like a blanket that covers your essence, your core of who you are. And when that's covered, it gets smothered, and like the spark inside us can just go out. And so, of course, we don't feel good about ourselves. We're just too busy worrying about other things, rushing, people pleasing, doing everything else, and not as well as we'd like. And so we start this internal dialogue with ourselves about how we aren't reaching our potential, about how maybe we're not good enough. And, oh, God, what if people find out? And I know I'm being judged, and I know I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that. And it's just such a detrimental word. So one of the things I'd like to suggest to your listeners is listen to that voice. When you hear yourself saying should to yourself or to someone else, you really need to stop and ask yourself, well, according to whom? Like, how do I know that's true? How do I know that's even worth listening to? Because those voices in your head, they sound so insistent and so certain, and yet they're just something you picked up from someone else. That's not your should. That's not your shit. That's someone else's. Do you want to live your life around other people's shoulds?
I love that. Because, a lot of times it's the internal dialogue that creates more reason to feel that you're underconfident, or you should not be doing this. You know?
And yet we convince ourselves it's other people we're worried about, but it's us inside our head.
Yeah.
So you might have these imagined ideas of what other people expect of you or think of you. At the end of the day, it's what you're telling yourself in here that's driving your focus, and therefore your experience, and therefore your actions, and therefore your results.
Mm-hmm. And we'll dive more into this, like how people can tap out of that internal dialogue and just feel relaxed in their body and see what's going on in their head, and then change, flip that dialogue. So we'll 100%. Dive more into that.
It's going to blow your mind when you find out how easy it is.
Yeah. Oh, I will. I'm looking forward to it, So let's talk about what are the consequences of this, because I feel that the moment people become aware of the consequences of their beliefs and actions, it kind of puts them in that uncomfortable zone that, oh my God, I've been doing this for so many years or months or weeks. And these are the consequences. And it's all because of my own, own dialogue or own beliefs.
Yeah.
So what are the consequences that, people can face, or women or moms can face because of just being underconfident?
Okay, cool. Great question. So look, there's two types of people, right? You got people who are motivated to achieve something and to get something. And you got another lot of people in the planet, they're more motivated to avoid certain things. So this is a good question, because this is for the people that are like going, oh, I think I'm okay, I'm coping. Why do I need to change? Well, here's why. Not being confident enough leads to a number of things. So one of the most interesting and most topical these days is imposter syndrome. And so somewhere, depending on the research that you look at, somewhere between 75% and 90% or even more of the female population will experience this at some point in their career, and often it's ongoing. And here's the really I find it interesting, is it's not the people that aren't good. In fact, it's often the high achievers that start doubting themselves. Mm-hmm. And here's what happens, and you'll know this as a coach, right? As a coach or a course creator, the minute you start doubting yourself, you start sending that vibe out to your clients. They're not going to want to follow or be inspired to follow someone who doesn't even have confidence in themselves. And you know this at your very soul. And that's why it's so important as a coach that you know your worth. Because here's one thing that I'll tell you for free. There are coaches and course creators out there that are less talented, less full of wisdom and practical experience and expertise and all of the gifts that you have to offer than you have. And they are making more money than you, working with less clients and charging more, simply because they know their worth. And so the consequence of not knowing your worth and being confident. Yeah, I mean, it's right there, like bang in front of you. If you need a reason, you want your people to follow you. You want them to feel inspired. You need to inspire them. And that comes from confidence, better relationships, better opportunities, better sex, better everything when you're more confident, right? Because you know what to ask for and you're not going to accept anything else. And the world stands up and listens. It all starts here and here.
Yeah. I have a question for you, though, and that's probably a little bit different from the flow that we decided for this conversation. And that is that I believe that confidence comes from competence. And a lot of people are competent enough, but they still don't feel confident enough. Why is that? I mean, do you think there is a specific reason for that?
So when you say competence, what do you mean?
Well, like I have, for example, I have the necessary skills. Let's say I coach people how to create and sell their online courses. I have the necessary skills. I still don't feel confident, for example. Why could that be?
Well, because you can compare yourself to anyone. And here's the thing, when you start comparing yourself to other people, there will always be people better and there will always be people worse. The ones that you will notice because your brain is primed to do this for you. It's trying to help you, right? So you or rats. Oh,
I missed something, but it's back. It's back.
It's back. Cool. So you have a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And that part of your brain is there to prime your unconscious about what to look for. So when you're worried, when you're coming from a place of fear, like you are when you're doing imposter syndrome and anxiety, then it looks for all the evidence to support your belief that you are not good enough. And so when you go looking for your competitors, you instantly, you don't go looking for the shit ones because you can't even find them probably. You go looking for the very best and then you compare yourself to them, just to their marketing, just to the success stories that they sell, and good on them too, you should. And so you're seeing just this tiny aspect of them, and then you're extrapolating this, that you're just generalizing, well, if they can do that, they must be the best, and if they're that good, oh my God, well, I've never done that and I haven't charged that and I've never made that in 1 year and whatever it might be. And we start down that spiral and just talking ourselves down and talking ourselves out of the game. And all we're seeing is a tiny bit of marketing. It's the same as social media. You compare yourself to social media, you're comparing yourself against a ghost. There's no way you can compete. You are not, you're a whole person and they're just a figment of their imagination.
Yeah.
So this is how you do it.
Love that. So this theme of the Guri show, I'm launching season 2, and this theme is all about breaking stereotypes. Of course, we are trying to help people when it comes to strategy, when it comes to mindset, different things. But at the same time, I believe that stories are such an integral part of our lives, and a lot of times, stories encourage us and inspire us to take the action.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your story. Tell me a stereotype that you faced and you struggled with, and then you went past it. Basically, you broke it.
Okay, cool. So there are two that I can think of off the top of my head. So the first one is, so when I became a mum, right? So I never planned on being a mum. I didn't see it as part of my life. Didn't think it was my path in life until I did. and I was about 34. So I was quite late to have my first baby. And so I had all these expectations. I'd seen my friends go through it and everything. And I'd seen what you do. Like when you have a baby, you give up everything, right? And your purpose, your identity becomes about raising that child. And there's something that I call perfect mum syndrome that they all seem to be afflicted by. And what's a key part of perfect mum syndrome is you definitely compare yourself to everyone else. And it's like keeping up with the Joneses, right? And you're trying to be this perfect role model of a mum. And that means there's no time for you. There's no time for a career, like not really a flourishing one anyway. And you just put yourself in that box and you live in that box. And so for me, I think if I'm going to live in a box, the only time I'd even consider doing that is if I was dead and it was a coffin, because I don't fit in a box. I'm not box shaped, like I've got more energy and potential and gifts to offer this world. So the first stereotype I broke is the stereotype of perfect mum syndrome. I'm not interested in being just one thing. I believe we are here to shine and use all of the gifts that we have and that we develop in this life. I think we are here to learn, to extend ourselves, to explore, to share our passions and light up the world. And so I have a more is possible belief set. That's my fundamental belief. More is possible. It's what I've built my whole business around. So my business is still my baby. I have two beautiful not really babies so much anymore. It's cool. But I have and I love it. I'm so blessed to be a mum. So don't get me wrong. And my business and me doing what I love, which is helping people change their lives, that lights me up. Now I know that if I'm going to be the best mum that I can, or the best coach or facilitator or consultant that I need to be all of me. And so this more is possible idea is about what if the way to really shine is not just choosing one role and wearing that hat for the rest of your life, but being true to who you are and all that you are. What if it's about embracing not just the good stuff too, but everything that you are? Because I just want to pop back to imposter syndrome, because I think it's something a lot of your listeners will be dealing with their clients. And that is, it's just so important to understand that if you're constantly worried that people are going to find you out, that you might be a fraud and not good enough, then one way you can avoid doing that is don't try and be perfect in the first place. People don't need perfect. Kids don't need perfect. And neither do your clients. They need aspirational, and that's different. Do you see? And it's about integrity. It's about being your authentic self. It's like, I'm human, funnily enough, just going to, spoiler alert here, I am human. I'm not perfect at everything. And so I'm not going to go out there and try and pretend to be, because that's inauthentic and that shit will get found out. So be yourself. Your clients came to you for you. They want the gifts that you have to offer, the insights, the wisdom, the pain, all of it can be utilized to help your clients be better and achieve their goals, to help them learn more in their courses or up level in whatever it is that they're doing in their life. So yeah, for me, it is the stereotype of perfect mum. And the other one was workaholic. Before that, I was a workaholic. And so it was a massive shift for me to have a child and just rebalance. Well, I didn't really have balance before then, you see, but I didn't really realize that until I had to juggle everything. And then and if you're a mum, then you'll know, then you really learn what balance is and the necessity for it. Yeah.
I love, both of these stereotypes, because I believe that a lot of people suffer from these.
Yeah. They're very common, particularly for women.
Yeah. course.
And like we think we have to, we get stuck in the workaholic thing, because there's that whole kind of glass ceiling thing, and you kind of have to work twice as hard just to get half as far as men, or the stats aren't quite that bad, but there is that feeling of constantly trying to keep up and prove yourself. Bullshit.
I feel that comes from, the employee mindset that we have developed over the years, and that, you have to work so many hours to be able to, get paid well. And when you're not working for so many hours, just not even 8 hours, like let's reduce it down to 5 hours. If you're not working for 5 hours a day, it's like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything. And how will I be, how will I make money? Different things. And then you're all over the place. You're thinking about 10 different things. This thing, even I suffered. And then I realized that that's the kind of life I wanted to build for myself.
Exactly.
I don't want to work for 8 hours.
Exactly. And these are the women that I want to work with too. The women that are willing to be that brave and go, you know what? I want more, and I want it with less.
Yeah.
Hell yes. Be that woman. Go create that life, because it is totally possible when you stop buying in to the standard expected roles and norms, and you start creating your own life. That's exactly what my program is all about. It's about creating your own version of epic. What life do you want to live? Mm-hmm. Define it, and then step by step create it. When you know with total clarity, when you have conviction about who you are and what you are capable of now, and that will continue to grow as you do, then the world opens up in front of you, and you stop worrying about all the can'ts and you start focusing on the cans. And when you do that, what you can do grows more and more and more, and your world literally opens up when you stop buying into all those old stereotypes and limiting beliefs. Yeah.
So how did you overcome these? Did you seek someone's help, or how did it go for you?
Not specifically. I did my NLP training, my neuro-linguistic programming training. 2008 I did that. And so I had done that. I had done some of it anyway before I had my kids. So I had some ideas, I had some skills. And then after a while, I went back and I did my master practitioner in NLP and my instructors. And the more I did in it, the more powerful I realized it is to help people change those limiting beliefs, because the most dangerous limiting beliefs are the ones we're not even aware of.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of it, you can't challenge it, right? And so for me, but that was also, it's a lot of deep self-work and trying to realize that, just like you said, that I could have more with less. Like actually deciding to believe that was a changing moment in my life. And it was NLP processes that helped me clear some of those limiting beliefs and past trauma and ideas about what was possible for me and what success looked like for me, and setting some really clear goals. And I can't overestimate how important it is to set clear goals. And people think they know how to set goals, and your clients will probably know this. A lot of your coaches will know this. Most people, what they're calling goals, they're not goals. They're values or dreams or pipe dreams even. And it's a skill, as you know, to set a good goal, and with clarity and motivation that pulls you towards it. And so for me, it was just looking at where I was, and I just had the sense of losing myself. And because I was just so busy looking after everyone else and trying to get so much stuff done that I lost my sense of self. And while my life was still good, it really was good, I'd lost connection with who I was. And so I was floundering around, just not quite sure where to go next, because I'd lost me. And it wasn't until I started doing that work on clearing some of those limiting beliefs enough to actually get clarity on what I want, that I was ready to do the work to move forward. And what blew my mind is the hardest part was actually figuring that stuff out. And so now I've built a whole program around, once you've done that, what are those steps that you can take with mindset work and simple things you can do to start to change your life. And it is the most empowering, incredible experience to watch women do that. And again, I'm sure a lot of your clients will know the sort of transformation that I'm talking about. A lot of your listeners, I mean,
Plus, it's not a one-day game. It's a journey that you have to live through. It's not that suddenly you realize, oh, I have this belief and you can change it. You can become aware of it in a single second, and then you can start working on it.
Yeah.
And
then
that
it's
takes
about
time.
conviction. Yes.
Yeah.
That's when the confidence comes back, because you're going to hit roadblocks. You're going to take 2 steps forward one day, you're going to be like, yeah, and thinking you're rocking it. And then the next day, shit's going to come up. You're going to lose a client, or a competitor's going to start up next to you, or whatever it might be. It's just going to blow that everything is happening for me belief, which, by the way, is a very useful one to have. And you're going to have to reset again. And then come back to who you are and your conviction and the path that you're on, and the value you are here to give, and go again. And that's what life is. It's picking yourself up and going again when that happens, and knowing that that's human and that's okay.
I love that you're sharing so much about your personal life and personal experiences, because it takes courage plus comfort.
Yeah.
It's not always about the courage. It's also about how comfortable you are with your emotions, how comfortable you are sharing your own personal experiences and, past. Obviously, this one session is not enough to help people, flip their beliefs and shift their perspective. But there is always a starting point, and there are always steps that people have to take. So let's dive into what are the things people can do in order to feel more confident, especially women, of course. Not. I feel that, yes, this is focused on moms, but then a lot of tips, even, anybody can apply and feel confident.
Totally. Absolutely. Okay. So to be confident, the first thing is it's useful to identify what are your triggers when you stop feeling confident. So I'm going to give you a tool to feel confident in the first place. And like we've just discussed, when sometimes it'll drop, and you'll kind of feel a bit naked again, and you'll be like, okay, I want you, when that happens, to do some reflection, go, okay, what just happened, and what meaning did I give that event that triggered me? And this is really important. You can do this with simple journaling. It's not difficult. It takes awareness and writing it down for a few minutes when this happens. So identify your triggers so you're ready to deal with them. And then look at what and how you think. Okay, so look at what you're thinking. Obviously, that internal voice that we've been talking about in your head, what is it saying to you, right? What is write down the words. What bullshit are you feeding yourself when you start feeling bad? Because you can't feel bad if you're sitting there going, man, I'm awesome, I'm the best, everything's going to be okay. You just can't. It doesn't work that way. So if you are starting to doubt yourself and fall into fear and anxiety and imposter syndrome, it's because you've got something going on here that is leading you down into that emotional state. So look at what you're saying to yourself, and also pay attention to how you're saying that. So the way we think, not just what we think, creates our experience. And this is one of the fundamental ideas underneath NLP, that listen to that voice, and you'll notice that voice is probably not whiny. It's probably not quiet. It probably sounds very certain, like it knows what it's talking about, and you damn well listen to it. Just listen to it. But actually, just because it's in your head doesn't make it valid, doesn't make it helpful, and doesn't mean you have to listen. So you get to evict any voices that are not serving you, right? And you can do that consciously, and you can do some really powerful unconscious level that is just far more elegant change with NLP stuff. For today, I want to give you the confidence anchor. And so this is something that you can use yourself in your personal lives, and also with your clients. And and I can even, if you want, send you the written 9-step process. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can do that with your clients. I'm more than happy to do that. So what is an anchor in the first place? So what is a confidence? This is think of this as a confidence switch. Imagine you have a switch on your arm, you can flick it on when you're feeling a bit blah, you can flick it and just notice how good you feel. Do you want to do that? Shall we do this?
Yeah, sure. I'm up for it.
Okay. So this is good. So first thing you need to decide is what you want to feel. So we're going to do a confidence one because it's key to where you're going with your program. And you could do it for calm or resilient or anything, any emotion that you want to feel, happy, joy, anything. So first you need to decide what you want to feel, right? And the second thing you need to do is you need to choose what you're going to do to anchor that, so that what your switch is going to be metaphorically, right? So this needs to be specific and something that you can control.
Okay.
So, for example, you might have a piece of jewelry that you wear all the time. I'm not wearing one at the moment. But so because you don't want to be reliant on something if you don't wear it, like if you have a wedding ring, for example, or a piece of jewelry you wear all the time, that can work really well. You can also do it just with a finger gesture, an appropriate finger gesture. So, for example, if you write with your right hand, then with your left hand, you could do like, in New Zealand, we call it the OK sign. Do you guys have that over there? Do you? Okay, yeah, cool. So thumb and forefinger together is in the OK sign, unless you've used that for something else before. But if you haven't, this is unique. You can control it completely. You can even be talking like this and no one will think anything about it if you happen to use your confidence anchor. So it's nice to be able to have them kind of not notice, right? So you've chosen you want to feel confident. You've decided that you're going to link this to this particular anchor. So I'm going to walk you through this process, this very simple visualization-based process, which is a bit quirky, and you're just going to just go with it and enjoy. And just do what I suggest, and you'll have this amazing anchor for the rest of your life. Deal?
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And when I say anchor that now, I'll remind you, but you're going to bring your thumb and forefinger together and leave it there until I tell you to break the anchor. When I say break the anchor, you're going to go like that.
Okay.
Perfect. Wow. Look at you. You're going to be good at this, I can tell. Okay. Excellent. So, don't set it until I tell you, and don't break it until I tell you. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Perfect. So here's the thing, is one useful belief to have, and it's a fundamental presupposition or underlying belief of NLP, is that everyone has all the resources that they actually need to be successful. As a coach and course creator, you're connecting them with those resources, right? Now, this doesn't mean that just because I do have all the resources that I can tap into them every time I want to. There are times when I want to feel confident, when it just doesn't come, and I know this is true for everyone. This is why you want your anchor. However, there are times when you feel amazing, when you feel so confident, so good at doing something, so in the zone that you feel unstoppable. You know those times?
Yeah.
So what this tells you is this is a resource that we're going to access. We're going to go back to a specific time that you can think of now, where you felt that positive, powerful, unstoppable. And what you'll notice is even me just talking about it now will already start to bring back that feeling in your body. All I'm going to do is get like you can see it. Like you can literally just see your body lift and the energy and change. And only because you've changed the direction of your thoughts and focus. Your brain is just so powerful. Your unconscious mind is more powerful than you can even imagine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to a time. You can close your eyes if you want. Some people find that easier. Whatever rocks your boat. I'm good. Okay. And so I'm going to get you to go back to that time now. Just taking a few deep breaths with me. Awesome. And keep doing that. Breath is good. Keep breathing. And I'm going to get you to go back to that time now where you felt completely in your place of power, where you felt confident, where you felt in the zone and everything was just flowing for you. Everything was just happening for you. And as you go back to that time, noticing how it feels when you feel this confident, I want you to see what it is through your own eyes at that time that you were seeing around you. Just pay attention, open your eyes in that memory and see what's around you. Enjoy it. Hear too any sounds that are associated with this memory of when you were really in your place of power, really confident, totally able, and just rolling with it, that feeling. And as you look for that feeling, you'll notice that you feel it actually physiologically in your body somewhere. Now, where you feel it, that's unique to each individual. So I'm going to ask you just unconsciously to ask yourself, where do I feel this feeling of confidence? Where do I do confidence in my body? And for some people, it's an isolated part of your body, maybe around your chest or heart area, maybe in your head or even your throat. And it can be anywhere. It could be in your fingers. It really doesn't matter. But notice where you feel that energy as you focus on how good you feel. How positive, how powerful, how empowered. Where do you feel that in your body? And for some people, it's everywhere. It's like a buzz all around them, like an energy emanating from them. So it can be somewhere specific or all around you now. And just notice where that is for you. And when you've got that energy and you're seeing everything around you, you're hearing it, you might notice too, there's an internal voice quite often. What are you saying to yourself in this moment of complete awesomeness? In this moment where you are just being your best self and feeling powerful and positive and knowing that you've got this, whatever it is, you are the master or mistress of that moment, and knowing how good it feels. You feel that in your body. And as you feel that in your body, I want you to imagine if that had a shape, if it was represented, that confidence was represented by a shape for you, what shape do you imagine now? And as you imagine that shape, you notice it has a color. And as you focus, that's right, as you focus on that color, you can make that color even brighter. And here's the cool thing. The more you focus on that shape, you can imagine it sitting on your hand now in front of you, in the palm of your hand, yours to hold. That energy is you. And it's represented by this shape of this particular color that you're seeing now. And the more you focus on that color, the brighter the color gets. And the cool thing is, the brighter the color gets, the larger the shape becomes. And it gets larger and larger. And as it does, the feeling grows. You can feel that now. And as it grows, it gets so big that it eventually envelops all of you. And it keeps expanding. The energy of your confidence and awesomeness, of knowing you are capable of all you put your mind to, and being able just to relax and enjoy that now, that is you. And that energy emanates endlessly from you, going out in rivers and returning back to you in wealth and positivity and abundance. And as you focus on that and enjoy that feeling, you can anchor that now, bringing your thumb and forefinger together into that okay signal. Things are not just okay, but powerful beyond measure, that you are positive and amazing and confident, and that you have every right to feel this confident now. And as you relax and enjoy that feeling of confidence and ability that you have, you can take another deep breath with me now. That's right. And let it go. And as you do, you can break that anchor and come back to the room.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
It's so cool, right? So here's what I want to tell you, because there's a couple of things people immediately think. They go, wow. And they go, yeah, how long is that going to last? And their conscious mind starts going, that was too easy. Can't be that simple. And here's what I want to tell you. Your brain automatically works with associations. It literally works. That's what it does. It takes one idea and associate it to another. That's pretty much all it does. Like, if I really simplify, really. So
I just
all we're
feel
doing
like
is,
I'm cutting you for a second. I just feel like I'm floating.
You do. You look at, actually, you've got a bit of a floaty thing going on.
The energy in the room has changed
It's
in my
huge.
body, as well.
And it is you. Like, that is your energy. So when I talk about tapping into your inner awesome, you've got a real kinesthetic experience of that now, that it's a literal thing, that your energy that you share with all of your clients and your listeners and everything, you just tapped into it more powerfully than you usually are. And it's a wonderful feeling, is it not?
Yeah, it is. It is 100%.
So all we've done is we've gone, okay, brain, look, we know how to do confident, and you've given it evidence. You've linked it to a time where you did that. And then we really amped up that feeling. We really just focused on, with that visualization, making it bigger and bolder. And then we just said, when we do this, I want you to feel that.
Yeah,
and your brain
I'm feeling it now.
Okay. Yeah. And when you do, you notice bring time in the future. So if you think about a time in the future that in the past, previously you might have felt not so confident. Can you just notice how that feels now as you imagine approaching that with your resource anchor?
Yeah.
It's
sometimes, I can give an example. Sometimes when I am on, a one-on-one call with my client, I don't feel that confident, because I know this is what I have to share with them, but it doesn't necessarily have to come from, I don't feel it in my body. Because I feel like, I'm going to share 5 tips with them and that's it. It's just going to be a session. But now I'm imagining and, visualizing that situation, and just changed the way I would approach it. next time.
Absolutely. And so it will change your physiology, it will change your voice, it will change your thinking, it will change your energy that you give to the client, and it will transform their experience. So when you level up your energy, then your client gets lower. They feel that too at an unconscious level, because you have natural rapport, because of course you do. You cannot coach without rapport. And so that means your energy is even more important when you're working with your clients than it is in everyday life. And it's always important. So that's a perfect example, Govinda, of when you could actually use this resource anchor. Perfect way to use it for all of your listeners too. Really simple way to just ramp yourself up and get into that can do, I'm amazing, I'm going to rock this person's world and help them rock their own type mindset. Yeah.
You know what? I'm a person who's familiar with these things. So I do a lot of mindset work, meditation, different things. But this anchoring was really new to me. And I appreciate you sharing this, because sometimes, it's difficult to change your mind, your thoughts just before the call or just before you're about to go on a, important meeting or anything. But then when you anchor it, it just becomes so easy. You just have to do
literally. Literally. And so you'll know this at an intuitive level and from other things you've done, is that change happens like that. Anytime anything big has ever happened in your life, it didn't happen gradually. Suddenly it just hit you. And your brain does that. Your brain changes instantly and constantly. And so the key is just learning how to use that. And an anchor is a really good example of when you know how your brain works and work with it, your brain becomes the most powerful tool that you have, beyond all of your knowledge, beyond all of your expertise and experience. This is what empowers all of it. And so you asked a question earlier, and I wanted to just make one quick analogy with you. You said, why is it important to feel confident? Imagine this. Imagine that you are like a bottle, a vessel, a bottle. And then the bottle it's like a wine bottle. It has a bottleneck. So you can have all the gifts and wisdom and talent in the world, and knowledge and empathy and rapport and all of the good stuff that coaches and course creators have. And your confidence is like a bottleneck. And so when you've got a thin bottleneck, you can only pour a little bit of that stuff out at a time. You just can't shine or share as much as you would like to. And the more your confidence expands, the more your bottle becomes more like a vase, and you can suddenly just let out so much more of the gifts that you have to offer. And that's the potential here with this simple tool.
That is, my mind is blown. I never, because I was looking at,
that's what I do.
I was looking at the vase that's just behind you. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, behind me?
The vase.
What's behind me?
It's a vase.
Oh, the vase. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Funny.
I was like, oh,
with my tall poppy in it.
The bottleneck.
Have you heard of tall poppy syndrome? That's my tall poppy. I'm here to be a tall poppy, my friend.
And I was like, there's the bottleneck. I see it. There you
go. Yep, absolutely. But you know what? You can pour more out of that particular vase than you can out of a wine bottle. And so I guess that's the thing. Wherever you're starting from, there's always the potential to open up, just to open up more. Because the more we open up, and it's like you were saying before, Govinda, the more you open up to people, the more they open up back to you. And that's where that really deep, powerful work comes from, be it from a course or from coaching. So don't be afraid. Be your full and best self. Step forward and people will come with you.
This thing that you've shared is, super powerful, because just with this conversation, people are going to feel so much change, instant change in energy. And especially if they listen to this before going on a client meeting, their energy is going to change,
Yeah, I would love to hear their success stories. So by all means, let me know how you go with this. But I've used this for years with my clients and personally. And now that you have that process, and let me know if you want me to send it to you in a written format, in a simpler written format.
I love that. Yeah.
You can use it to do calm. So if you have trouble relaxing, so if your clients have trouble relaxing, a lot of my clients have trouble relaxing if they're those type A's, you can set it for any emotion you want to, any state that you want to feel, that you've felt in the past. You can even do it in something you have imagined, but it's much more powerful with tapping into it to a time you've done it before. So this is a skill set you have now, not just one particular anchor, but the ability to create other anchors. So you're welcome and enjoy. It is powerful stuff.
Well, I think we'll have, multiple conversations in the future, because this is not just, one conversation that we're having about confidence and it's done. Because I believe this is an umbrella term, and there's so much under the umbrella that we need to address and we need to discuss.
I could talk for hours on this stuff.
Yeah. For example, you mentioned about, how to relax, because sometimes it's easier to tap into the energy, and it's easier to tap into, that workaholic mindset, but then it's difficult and so difficult to tap out of it. Yeah. And, just to relax. So I think we can have another session just to talk about how to relax.
It's so important, Like we're in a world where we kind of idolize rushing and busyness and productivity. Like that's the norm. And, more and more people are moving to realize that they need more balance, but it's not a skill set most people have. Most people, who want to, even if they want to slow down, just don't quite know how. And it seems like this elusive state that they can't find. And it's like anything, it's simple when you know how.
Yeah. And also because, people connect, or people relate, relaxation with, laziness.
Yeah.
And they feel that if they're relaxing, they're being lazy.
Yep. Man, we should unpack all of that stuff, right?
Yeah. I think we can.
We need to unpack that. There's so many limiting beliefs going on right there. And you're so right. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you, but how messed up is that? Do you ever see a cat just stand up all day because, it's proud and beautiful, and it's not going to relax because it might be seen as lazy? Have you ever seen a cat do that? I mean, cats are we can learn a lot. Like, I know we can learn a lot from dogs, but cats, my friend, cats can teach us some stuff too. They don't give a toss what anyone else thinks. They're just going to enjoy their life, and they know how to relax like no one's business. So next time you're wondering how to do it, take a look at your cat and start there.
Yeah.
Like, they really know how to slow down. And otherwise, let's connect again. I would love to give you some tips and ideas on that for sure.
Yeah. So it's been amazing. Thank you, Jaki, for being here. But let's dive into, the stuff that you have to share with the audience, with the listeners. So do you have any freebies that you can do?
I do. There's two things that I'd like to talk to you about. So I have a starter kit. So my program's called My Epic Evolution, and it's about helping people live their best life.
Identify Tell us about your app. Yeah.
Yeah. So it hasn't. I've built an app around it so that, because it's for busy women. I mean, like, is there any other type of woman? But so you needed to be able to go with them where they did, right? So it's available from your phone or from your laptop, and it's down to bite-sized training modules that are somewhere between 15 and 40 minutes each. So you can fit it in around, and there's resources and journaling prompts and just like, it's ready to go. It's just there and ready when you are. Isn't that nice? Someone that's ready when you are, not the other way around. So the app is all about identifying the gaps in your life where you kind of go, well, I'm here and I want to be there. So this is what I'd like to change specifically in your relationships, in your business, in your sense of self, in your romantic relationship, in whatever, in all of the different areas. It maps it out, and then you identify the gaps, and then you can start to work on the mindset stuff that is holding you back, because it is 90% mindset stuff that is holding you back. Yeah. It's not so much what you're doing, because when you get the mindset right, you start doing the right things. So we do all of that sort of stuff in the app, and then I do weekly coaching as well in groups, so that, because women work better together, we're so good when we're together, and so we can support each other as they go through the different challenges, as you start to change from where you are and you're a bit stuck and not really happy, to where you want to be, where you're fully realized and just nailing this thing we call life. So that's the program, and it's available as an app and a coaching program. I've got a special on at the moment. It's just $14.95 New Zealand, which is only $9.95 US, to trial it for a month, just 1 month. You can just see what it's like. And I have a free starter kit. So even if you're like, maybe I'll just look at the starter kit and I'll go from there, hit me up. I'll send you the link to the starter kit, and then you can join the program and see how it works for you. But yeah, we've had people go through the program that have completely transformed their lives, that have started new businesses, that have revamped their relationships, that are starting side hustles and renovating their homes. And more importantly, like at the base of all of it, just loving who they are again. And stepping into that place of power that exists when you be your best self. So there's that. And I'm also offering the chance now to join my Facebook group, because that's where I share a lot of free tips and tools like this. So it's called My Epic Evolution. So facebook.com/groups. And My Epic Evolution is just one word, and you'll find us there. Join the community, be part of a group of women supporting each other, just rocking their own worlds and being awesome, and learn some of this amazing mindset magic that I love to do.
Yeah, I love to join the group. Plus, share all the links with me, and I'll connect all the links and I'll put them into the bio, into the
that
notes.
would be great. I will absolutely do that. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. It's been wonderful talking with you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for making time. I know it's late for you. It's probably around 11 p.m.
I'm going to turn into a pumpkin soon.
Thank you for making time. All right. We'll chat soon, and take care. Have a great rest of your day, or, rest.
Yeah. Thank you. And you have a good rest of your day. Yeah, I will enjoy that. Thank you. Cheers.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.